All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're definitely happy and grateful for all of you being here with us this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we can take advantage of in this Forex market. So without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. This group is always great at doing that. So, right out the gate, if you are all ready to go for this morning's session, drop me a one in the chat. Let me know you can hear me loud and clear, as I did have a couple of technical difficulties this morning. So, I see that we have that fixed now. As I see the ones coming in, I appreciate everybody doing that for me. So, all right, I appreciate it. So let's make sure that we start each and every day, not just in trading, but in our lives, right? With a strong foundation, taking massive action. Let's make sure that we are accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome. Let's make sure that we center ourselves in body, mind, and spirit, ensuring a balanced approach to trading. Let's trust in our education, our strategy, trading skills, and intuition. And let's imagine, right? Let's be positive. Let's imagine our trade successfully materializing. Let's obey our trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed and fear. And let's make sure that once, right, that trade is moving along, that we are never looking back or stopping the trade once it's commenced. So, with that being said, if we're all ready to take massive action, let's go ahead and get started with this morning's session and click on over to trading economics, right? So let's start out with this morning as we see that China exports imports beat estimates. So exports from China jumped 7.1% year over year in January and February 2024, exceeding market forecasts of 1.9% and picking up from 2.3% rise in December amid stronger demand for electronics and a rise in shipments to Russia and emerging markets. Meanwhile, imports rose 3.5%, topping consensus of 1.5% and quickening from the prior 0.2% growth due to strong domestic demand during year-end and Lunar New Year holidays. That is huge as it has an impact on the Aussie, right? And the New Zealand, right? With it being the huge trade partner, especially to Australia. So we saw that the Australian dollar jump, right? So that was the one outlier. It's hard to figure China out from time to time, right? So the world has been waiting on China's economy to really get going, but it's been happening in fits and starts. But this is some good data. So this is one that I didn't see coming for sure. But hey, positive news for China nonetheless. ECB to hold rates, maintain cautious stance on rate cuts. That report is, I believe, today. Yes, that is at 8:15 a.m. So the ECB, so they're looking, trading economics is saying, hey, they're going to hold rates, and then we get the statement coming out looking for the forward guidance. That's always going to be important. 8:45 is the ECB press conference there. Okay, and then we've got Chairman Powell testifying again today. So also, right, we've got Japan, right? The yen rallies on rate hike bets, right? And Ryan has been, thank goodness for Ryan, right? Because he has been on top of this yen, and we see that the yen rallies, right? So it appreciated past 148 per dollar, climbing to its strongest levels in a month amid growing speculation that the Bank of Japan could raise interest rates this month. Latest data showed the cash earnings in Japan rose a more than expected 2% in January, the highest reading in 7 months. So Governor Ueda previously stressed the need for more data before considering an exit from ultra easy monetary settings, emphasizing the need for a sustained positive wage inflation cycle. So Nakawa also said, right? BOJ member Nakawa also said that the prospects for the economy to achieve a positive cycle of inflation and wages are in sight. Externally, the yen benefited from a decline in the dollar and treasury yields as Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said that it would likely be appropriate to dial back restrictive policy at some point this year, right? But based on yesterday, right, kind of saying they're in no rush. So at some point this year. So we'll see about that. So we said this week was going to be a huge data week. And so far it is not disappointing. Ryan, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, bro. I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Oh man, I am doing great. So Japan, Japan, Japan. Do you think they're gonna make the move, man? I don't know. We got wages. I guess the union over there too, right? They're pressing for
Yeah,
higher wages.
so I think that's going to be the kind of the last straw.
Okay.
That the those that data and that information will be released on the 15th. I do think that it'd be one of two scenarios. Either they make the change on the 19th, or they give forward guidance, which they haven't really done a ton. Um, Basically saying when they will and how many they will increase if they do choose to hold for one more month. Um, right now, the thoughts are that there are going to be two rate hikes this year in Japan,
Hmm.
ultimately getting them to a quarter point.
Okay.
Um, so those are the bets right now. So I think one of those two scenarios will happen. Either they'll go ahead and do it, or they'll give forward guidance on when they will. Which, if they don't do it this month, I think it'd be highly likely that they'll do it in April. So yeah, I think it's coming. I think we're close, but I think that the wage negotiations is the final straw, and that'll be kind of the determining factor on when I think.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because sometimes I wonder, man, because the moves can be so volatile. Like we see the correction
Mm-hmm.
happening just on the prospect of it. And the last like so sometimes I'm like, man, is it making enough move in the in the market to where they back off of it again? You
And
know?
that's I think that too. Yeah, just to taper the one because they also Ueda's also said they don't want any aggressive moves. So even aggressive moves in their favor, they don't want those either, right?
Hmm.
So they definitely could hold for that reason
Yeah,
and cause
yeah,
prices to push back up and then give a turn back. So yeah,
got
I
it.
agree with you, man.
Yeah, because I'm just like, we've seen this happen multiple cycles where, the speculation comes, to jawboning occurs, and the price corrects, and it seems like, okay, we're good. And then they hold rates where they are again, and again and
Mm-hmm.
again and again. Like right now, just on the speculation, technically has given us the corrections that we've been looking for on several pairs. So my question is on some of them is, okay, is this pushing it right into the sweet spot to get long again? Or uh is this now the beginnings of a trend, a trend reversal on these pairs? So that's always the back and forth with the yen. So we shall see. We shall see. But I appreciate everything you're doing in regards to your research and keeping us updated. Guys, please, right? Make sure you take a look at the blog posts and things like that. That is huge, especially when it comes to swing trading, where you're not going to see trade setups every 5 minutes, but you will get awesome information coming in regarding, what to keep an eye on and what's really moving the market, because it is fundamentals that move the market. Okay, contrary to some belief. Right? It is the fundamentals. Okay, it really matters. So speaking of that, right? Gold, right? We came into the year and we said, hey, gold, high probability that gold is gonna get long. Why? Because we're in a highly speculative market in regards to rate cuts. And we know a lot of times, right? Past history, fundamentals matter. And oftentimes when you're in rate cut environments, gold tends to do well, right? And so we mapped it out technically, fundamentally, we built our case, and gold has been getting long, right? So far so good on that. UK house prices rise for the third straight month. That's good. Germany factory orders slump, right? So still back and forth with that, right? And of course, Germany is always important, largest player in the eurozone. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that, right? And the forward guidance from the ECB today, trading economics. What else? Let's go back up to yesterday. ADP non-farm missed, right? The 9K. It was suspected 149K came in. Private sector jobs at 140. Labor productivity down. Canada, right? Held rates, overnight rate, interest rate 5%. We expected that. And was it in regards to the press conference, BOC, the Bank of Canada rules out near-term easing, right? Rules it out, sticks to a cautious approach. That's pretty much across the board from a lot of your central banks. Chairman Powell testified yesterday. U.S. Fed's progress on inflation not assured. Okay, not assured. So same rhetoric. We'll see what happens today with that as well. What else? What else? Crude oil inventories, right, up 1.4 million. Came what the projected was 2.4, came in at 1.4. So that's positive, right? Came in below, right? So that's good, right? So it's the total opposite when you look at the crude inventories. Okay. So 2.4 million projected came in. So inventories are down, right? So talk about the usage of oil. Okay, and the demand. That's why that's really, really important. Um Coming back to today, 8:30, we got trade balance, unemployment claims for the United States. Then, of course, like we said, the ECB press conference, and then we move into Friday, which we'll discuss tomorrow. Any questions on the fundamentals? Okay. So just as a reminder for those of you who may be new, right? If you're in the training, don't skip over the fundamentals. Right? Very, very important. Make sure you watch those videos, put them there for a reason, right? If you don't understand the fundamentals, you are flying blind in the market. Okay. So let's move on over to the charts. Take a look at the DXY. Right. So we see the dollar, right? It's turning over weekly. We are bearish. Okay. So we hit that 104.85 level and we have turned over. Right. So we're having another bearish week for the dollar. Okay. See here, moving down, right? So maybe we get back down to that 102 level. Okay. That's the daily. So all things are headed to the downside. Here, zoom in. Okay. There. So we just had a level here. That price pushed through. That low was at 103.18. And so we may just be heading again to that 102 level. Maybe we get a correction. We'll see how the week ends up. Any questions on the DXY?
Nope.
All right. Who was that? Who was that that said no? Is that
Done.
uh
Done.
Donette? What's going on? So I see in the chat that you said you watched all 6 of those episodes. That was pretty fascinating, man.
Yes, that's amazing. I was like, wow, I did not know all these things exist.
I know, right? Did you see how they the guy was actually making money flying drones over to check oil inventories?
Yes,
Man,
that was a story. I was like, wow. I would felt for the guy. $13 million. It's like, wow.
Uh, I know, right? I know, right? And so how about those ladies in Japan, huh? Is this a real market to play in or what?
Yeah, it was just unbelievably. It's exciting to see, that, you're doing something
Hmm.
that's still great, but the experiences of so many other people and how they really transform their lives and the impact. It's like,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. Fascinating documentary, like one of the best I've ever seen in regards to the market. So yeah, if anybody gets a chance, definitely watch that series. Planet Finance. Pretty awesome
The one
stuff.
on Faith, the one, the guy, when he talked about what is it, the catastrophe insurance thing, how he got into
Oh
that.
yeah.
That was wild. It was like,
Oh yeah.
The
Oh
fate of
yeah.
his firstborn child led him to that. That's crazy.
Yep. Yep. And that's something. So, uh, who was that in the chat? Kay said, what documentary? Ryan, you posted that, right, Ryan? In the
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
posted.
I
But you
posted
gotta
it in
subscribe to get the other 5 videos.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
okay, I'll tag you in a comment on it.
Yeah, yeah. So it's pretty good. It just lets you know, uh how big and how vast this market is and that it's real. It's real, it's not a scam, it's real. So it impacts all of our lives on a regular basis. So yep.
So this
So
Planet Finance thing, Benny, that's like they do all investigative stuff after critical stuff happens. Is that what it is?
yeah, pretty much from what I see.
Mm,
From what I see, they do some really good work too. Really good work. And they like have I don't know, the way it's presented, it's presented in a really down to earth way to me. It's not too wonky, so to
yeah.
speak. You can get it, if you watch it. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. So all right. So let's head on, right? So let's start off at the top, man. One trade that got me was my Aussie CAD. Uh and it's been mixed across the board. So this Aussie CAD trade, right? It stopped me out, right? It chased that daily level here. So I got hit for 63 pips on this one. Because I didn't catch the angle with China and the positive news, right? So that's why we use stop. So this Aussie pair, now the Aussie pairs have been mixed across the board in regards to direction and timing, but this one got me. Here, so I took an L. It started out pretty good, but then I took an L. It this level right here was key, 88.01, right? That's hindsight, right? It didn't break it. It held above it, past resistance, becoming future support. It tried it twice, didn't break it, didn't accelerate it. Um, but that news out of China is positive for Australia, right? So it pushed it up higher. But if you zoom out here, um, I'm not so long term still on the Aussie. But if you zoom out, you move up to like the 4 hour, you can see how it's still pressing, within this AB boundary here. So you're looking at, the possibility of a double top in this zone. This is the 4 hour, and I'm just working within the same chart. Um, it's still pushing up. You can see here to this level, right? So it was here before, it pushed down, and then we've come right back up to this level again, higher time frame. If we zoom out to the daily, right, you can see here. So we're still within some larger, AB boundaries that just pushed up. So I don't know. We'll see if that move sustains itself. But it stopped me out. Stopped me out for now. But I'll watch it from these higher time frames. Watch that daily resistance level that is testing now, right, where it's been before, to see if it holds. But on the 1 hour play, I got hit on that. So I took an L on this Australian dollar pair. So yeah. But that's it. So any questions on that? So that's moving strong to the upside right now. Stopped us out. We shall see what happens on this one. So waiting for the next potential setup on that. Again, we'll see what happens at this level. Any questions on that? Aussie cat and the Aussie dollar. Those reacted back to the upside swing. Is it
Yes,
cashed
sir.
on yesterday? Okay. Thought it was solid. Yeah, yeah. So we got some bouncing around in the markets, but it's all right. Like I said, these Aussies have been kind of mixed. I was fading, hoping with the Aussie and then some Canadian strength because of oil, things like that. But that was the ideas playing in my head. But didn't get that one right, at least in the short term. So with this Aussie Swiss though, right, got that one in the right direction. And that one was mainly, hey, playing on Swiss franc weakness, right? So again, right? Sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield, right? That's how the market goes. And we can see here that on the Aussie Swissy, right, where it took the 63 pip hit on that one. I mean, on the Aussie Cat, on the Aussie Swissy, we got that one moving. We got that one right. right? So we look forward to hit that 130 pip target on that one. So that's your Aussie Swiss, still moving bullish. My concern was breaking above that 57.92, and we got above that. And it's holding right now. So we'll see if we can finish out, right? So manage a trade if you're long on that Aussie Swissy. Let's see if we can get it to hit that target. That'll make me feel a lot better, considering that Aussie cat. Any questions on the Aussie Swiss? No? All
No, sir.
right. All right. Appreciate it. Taking a look, since we're in the Aussies, we'll take a look at the Aussie yen with the correction. So overall, right, we've been bullish against the yen. I'm mainly focusing on this 4 hour move, right? So we're correcting now. We're just that wasn't too far away uh from that. So I don't know if anybody was trailing stops or whatnot, but we got like 38 pips away from that. Then it broke down. This is that scenario with the yen, Ryan, where it's just like I don't know if this is another correction or if this is about to make another huge move down. You know, it's moving sideways now, so we'll
Yeah.
see. We will see on that one. So that's just one that you monitor. Manage a trade with these gens. Uh, if you're in them long, like this one started, you might have already started to adjust your stops. It's moved a long way. But if you haven't, just watch it. Just watch it closely, especially with New York opening and a lot of the data that's coming out for the rest of the week. Just continue to watch it. That's moving sideways now. See, that's what gets me with these. You can see it's paused now. So are we going to get the continuation to get to that extension? Uh, so that's where we are there on the Aussie Yen, Aussie NZD. Uh, this is another one um, that played out in our favor. All right. So has it been a crazy ride? Yes, after that huge correction to the downside, but it didn't hit our stop, everybody. Right? So congratulations. Go ahead and do what you need to do with that one as we're coming into TP1 for 111 pips. What a ride, right? What a ride. Um, but hey, worked out. The idea worked out. So what is that? A couple pips away from hitting that target. Manage a trade accordingly. Okay. Anybody still in this Aussie NZD? Anybody hold on to it?
No, I ended
Yeah.
up letting that one go on that account change.
On the changeover with the fivers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I got it. So that one played out good for us. There's nothing you can do about that one. So uh yeah. Hopefully they get that cleared up this week, Ryan.
They have
Yeah, what
a meeting
I,
today or something.
yeah, I was reading that
Oh, okay.
they did a small test on a small group of accounts just to ensure the process. But they're looking to have things wrapped up by the end of the weekend.
Okay, okay. The way it looks, I think that new platform might be better.
It might be, dude. I like the features that it has on it. Just the whole internal ecosystem is pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I get it. I guess because meta quotes and MT4, MT5 has already always been real archaic, to me.
Hmm.
But maybe it's because it's a simple platform is why so many people adopt it, and white label it as much as they do. But you know, I wonder what that's gonna do with them as far as people if this whole thing has made people wake up to say, well, maybe we should just be on another platform or develop our own platform we can control.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely think that's a valid conversation.
Yeah, yeah, done that match trader. Yeah, I think it is too, right? Like, why would I, if I'm running a business, like, why would I subject myself to that when I could just create my own platform? Many of them are moving to DXJ platform beneath. Yeah, so that I think I'm like, man, you know, yes, you don't want that pressure from regulators, but it can really cause you to, in the long term, to kind of overplay your hand by dumping everybody like they did, to where it's like, well, more and more people might just say like, I'm out, like
Yeah.
like I'm out on that, you know. So and by way of, you know, something that was perceived as negative happening, it could be a positive for some companies because they may find just better platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I never liked MT4, MT5, which is why I'm on Smart Trader so much. I use it to kind of for trade execution, but I don't use it to mark up, you know. And so, and now you can even do, they even have it where you can you could trade off a trading view, right? Can't you connect
You
everything to
can.
trading view? Yeah.
You
So I mean,
can. Yeah.
it's they might be in trouble. They might
They
be in
might be,
trouble.
bro.
So
They might
yeah.
be.
That might not end up too well for them. So yeah, but I'm glad. That's why I'm very I've always been, you know, and as a group, you know, Ryan and I have always been pretty high on the 5 or 6. They're pretty proactive in what they do, and they fly pretty straight. So uh, that's that on the Aussie NZD. So that's a good setup. Taking a look at the KLT was so mad when they did the Jays, I bet. So let's take a look at this Aussie dollar, because this is the other one, right? So we did good. I did good on some of these, and then these other ones, like, man, right? This one, now this one got me. This one stopped me out in profit because it was already a good move to the downside. The other one I wasn't able to adjust, but this one it's looking like it's gonna take the hit too, uh, to the upside. You never know. Um, it still has a little ways to go for people that might be holding that, but yeah, yeah.
I was surprised it shoot up so much yesterday.
I know, right? Even with the data coming out of China, it's like China's been so back and forth. Like the reaction surprised me on this, you know. Like I said, I was able to adjust my stop on this one, uh, but it was just because of the progress it had made. You know, like how it closed in. You see how close it got. So whereas the other one, that Aussie CAD, I didn't. I'm like, man, it still has some room to run. I'm just gonna let it run, and that one caught me. But this one here, I'm like, come on, like, but it, you know, it is what it is. That's the way the market goes. We don't control it, but you know, you're still, when you look at it from a daily perspective, uh, we'll see. Let's see what happens when it hits. You know, what is that, 66.40? If it hits that level, uh, but we're still within this AB boundaries bouncing around. I'm just not ready. I don't know about you, Ryan, anybody in the group. I don't know if I'm ready to put the death nail in the dollar yet. You know, um, I don't know. I guess I'm data dependent, kind of like the Fed, in regards
No,
to.
I'm with you. I'm not ready for that yet either. I think we still got some upward momentum before that fallout actually happens.
Yeah, yeah, and then I just want to see how, because here's what threw me off, right? So I'm not gonna say it threw me off. I guess the China data was something that I didn't have my eye on, right? Uh, when we come and we take a look at uh, right. So I'm thinking, you know, with commodities like the Aussie, I just know at some point, right, this S&P is gonna correct. You know, I'm keeping a close eye on that, right? It's pushing up into the zone. At some point, we're gonna get a correction, and it's starting to bounce around a bit. So I'm watching a close eye on that, because I know typically when you get the correction in the S&P and things like that, your commodities tend to take a downturn as well. And so that's kind of banking on with the Aussie dollar, but not not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. So we'll continue to monitor it and see how it plays out. You said you closed out, Joy? Yeah, yeah. I don't blame you on that. That was like Donette said, that was such a move that accelerated so quickly. to the upside. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what
Regarding
happens.
your dollar statement there, Benny, with Bitcoin having coming up and people taking their profits and then to have that low to buy it up back, I mean, we may get a small a dollar that because people are gonna have to exchange it for.
Correct. Correct. You're right about that. You're right. You're right about that. You know, I like that. I like that. That's true because you have to exchange that Bitcoin, man. It's something. You know, like the volatile corrections and things like that. And, you know, it's that I think I was listening to one analyst yesterday on Bloomberg, and she was just like they kind of use it in their group as kind of a gauge for sentiment. You know, that's kind of how they're looking at it. You know, as another sentiment indicator. So we'll see. I think a lot of people are still trying to figure out exactly what role that plays in regards to uh, being a data point and an indicator for the market. But they use it for more so for sentiment, is what they're saying. So I think the verdict's still out on that. But we'll see. We shall see. But good point. Good point on that. So that's the Aussie dollar. Moving to the upside. We'll see if it hangs in that AB boundary. It's a 1 hour AB boundary, right? Lower time frame boundary. So we'll see. Moving on. In fact, let's take a look at Bitcoin since we talking about it. So still, like this is crazy. Look at this, right? Oops. Look at that swing. Look at that swing, right? So beautiful. Uh,
I was thinking that they would come back and give us a right shoulder at what, 31, 30,
hmm
31.
it just got. It's like that FOMO kicked in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we get that correction, maybe. Right. You get that correction. Pull back and move back up.
But if you look to the left of that,
hmm
we just drew, see
hmm
how that
Yep.
shoulder there.
Yep. Right here.
If that thing comes back there,
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. We know it's a volatile asset. So we'll see. You still have your position in BitPay? Yeah. Yeah. I've got some holding. Just holding. It's not much though. Um, but I'm like, I'll just take it and hold it, right? And so there's that huge U-turn there. What a move, right?
Yeah, I put $19 on it. That was that was back in the pandemic, and I forgot about this app, and I was going to clear some storage, and I was like, I got money on this app. What's this? Oh, this Bitcoin. So I'm
Yeah.
11,341.92 at 1928.
Hey, hey, let her keep running. Let her keep running. This is the grandfather of them all, Joy. So let it do its thing. Look now, look at this correction. This is what I'm saying, right? What in the world? All right, but we see we've got it. We've got it moving back up. Look, it could be a mess sometimes, right?
they say it's projected to go to like 600,000. I was like, I don't know. That's just
That's that's the same projection from the year before last, before it had went down.
Yeah, but you know what? Just I did pick up the ETF, the BITO. I did pick that up. Um, and I think what is it? I think I did it at like 27 at $27 a share. Um, for the BITO ETF. So slower growth, but if it does, if that somehow plays out in the distant future, you know, I'll just keep buying into the ETF, for that, and Coinbase, I guess, keep whenever we catch a low, technically keep buying into it. Um, I'm liking the XRP, Ryan. That was a disaster for both of us in the beginning because of the whole thing.
Man, oh man, oh man.
I had it at 22 cent, and then the whole debacle with the feds or whatnot going after him in court, which they knew they were gonna win that battle, and I cashed out. I
I did.
cashed out.
I had it at 11 cent, and I was like, I ain't about to be a part of a lawsuit, and sold it. And like a
Yep.
fool, I should have held on to.
I had some at 7 cents and some at 14 cents, and the platform that I had it on shut down.
Yep.
But they
Yep.
say Bank of America, I still haven't did the research. They say Bank of America sells it, and like they're like an endorsement of it or something like
They
that.
are. So
Okay.
Bank of America, and I think there's four other large banks. I forget what they are, but Bank of America is one of them that's been endorsing them and using them since like 2017.
Hmm.
So Bank of America has been ahead of the game on that, but their whole platform and crypto ecosystem, Bank of America has been using for quite some time. So that's true.
Yeah. I'm just gonna keep buying it. I'm just gonna keep every period. I'm just gonna keep buying it. Like, cause like I said, I was in at 20. I was like you, Joy. I'm like, this is a mess. What's going on? Like, I'm gonna get out. And then I was upset because they had it locked down to where you couldn't purchase it at all through the exchanges. So I got out and left it alone. But I got back in. I mean, if it goes to $1, if one day it goes to $10, you piling in now. It's like
What
it could be
exchange sells them now? Coinbase and stuff?
Coinbase.
Oh, Coinbase sells it? Okay, cool.
Yep,
Crypto.com.
yep, yep, yeah. They're back on the exchange now. So that's a small one. And then of course Ethereum, right? At 35. This is going to get it. We need a correction, right? It's moving up. But that one to me, I don't get too far into the weeds with the currency. I kind of stick with the main ones. I know there's some ones out there. There's some stills that will probably become, you know, that are at less than 1 cent. That'll go to $1. I don't get that far in the weeds with it, but with these, the main ones, I do keep an eye on them. If we can get a major correction in Ethereum, that's another one I would like to add, more to in the portfolio and just hold it. Not so much fade
Yeah.
in and out of
Mhm.
My
We live
main.
in New York, so New York is so
Oh yeah, y'all can't get it, can y'all?
can get a lot of stuff, man.
it. Oh
New
wow,
York,
yeah.
Don't they have
Well,
a block on New York of purchasing crypto?
yeah.
Okay.
yeah, it's ridiculous because the investors there, like they talked it down. They talked it off a cliff because they missed the first wave. So they used their power in the media to walk it down, and then come like BlackRock bought went and bought a boatload. You know what I mean? Like it's all manipulative. But
And we
yeah,
get prohibited. Some things you can't see like the regular person, and some platforms. It's like you gotta go through the back door.
yeah. I mean, Jamie Dimon was pretty much on national TV calling it a scam. Like, and then you look at the record and it's like, oh, they hold a boatload of it. So unbelievable. So it could be a wicked game sometimes. Um, let's take a look at this cat yen, right? So Cardano, yeah, V chain. All right.
Solano's a good one too.
Mm-hmm.
Solana.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I hear who is that all the time? Scott Carney is always talking about Solano and stuff like that. He's big into crypto. Um, so here's this yen, right? Where we were waiting on this correction. So when I found out what was going on with this move and what was behind it fundamentally, I haven't gotten involved with this one yet. So I didn't keep the buy limit, but it is still within this AB boundary. And this is one that I'm talking about, Ryan. Like, is this a sustained long-term move with the yen, or is this just another one of those corrections, right? Where it's based on speculation, and then they're ultimately not gonna make a move, and then everything's gonna get long. And so it's another one of those timing things. I'm waiting on it. So we're in the buy zone. I'm waiting on additional confirmation on this. I haven't taken a shot at it yet. But we did get the correction that we were looking for. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I'm the same way, but what I'm starting to lean more toward this being the beginning of the shift.
Okay.
And even if they don't change this month, um, my bias is starting to shift toward looking for. We got some strong bearish moves, bro. Looking at the daily time frame on this, that's a strong move to the downside, right? Um, so looking for high prices, and I think I'm gonna start building some positions for a longer term sustainable move to the downside.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
waiting on a high price, and then start trickling them in. So even if price does push a little bit higher, getting back to even if it gets back to 111, right? Um, but not being able to break above that 111 daily resistance level,
Hmm.
is building position for a longer term move to the downside.
Okay.
And the reason being is because the data is starting to line up, right?
Yeah.
And what they've been looking for, they're getting like that wage increase. It was, I forget what the stat was, but it's the fastest growth in over a period of time. So I think it's all lining up for this move. It's just a matter of when. So I think this could be the beginning of that shift.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right. Well, I'm gonna tell you what, man. I don't believe
you,
I,
you don't think
I,
gonna do it, huh?
man, they just gonna have to take out my stops. I don't believe these guys. I've been waiting on them for 2 years.
Listen,
Uh,
and I don't blame you.
uh, I don't know. I guess that was makes it. This is what makes a market, right? So I don't. This is what creates all the waves, right? Two different thought processes. I don't know. And like I said, I'm gonna wait on some confirmation. K, the JPY seems like it's frustrating to trade. Yeah, it it can be caught up in the day to day, but I I think now, because a lot of the things that Ryan are saying, like that wage pressure is real, right? The wage pressure is real. The issue with the union is real. But when you look at the long term swing, like the swing, the currencies have been going straight up against the for 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 two
Yeah,
years, for 2 years, for 2 years. So it just it's like it really I really learned a big lesson when it comes to, man, listen to these central banks, like how they say don't bet against the Fed. That's really across the board, not just with the Federal Reserve. Like it's been moving up. like this has been a move up. Like when you go in and you take a look at uh when you look at uh March 2020, which is kind of like the new landmark now, for markets because of the pandemic. Like that's been going straight up. You get what I'm saying? Like it's just the ebbs and flow, which is really why I like swing and positional trading. Because that's where the power is as a trader, right? If you could just develop that patience and build a strong case fundamentally, right? So that macroeconomic approach is best. If you look at these setups, right? Um, and you go back and you go to March 2020, like this has been the play. Right? So, day trading, shorter term trading, yeah, okay, I'm with you. Like I think the same thing in my mind. Like it could be a frustrating currency. But when we look at it from a swing trading positional type of approach, the yen has been bearish. And every major currency has pretty much been moving log against it, right? And so that's what we talk about, okay, like in the weeds, like, for repetition and things like that, you get in and out, it's exciting. But when you really develop into that true swing trader, that positional trader, and you take a fundamental approach to things combined with your technicals, the case has been long against the yen since 2020. Like like that's just that's I remember, what was it, right? It was might have been a year and a half ago. And a lot of, like, most of the guys you see on TV, like the big players, they are macro fundamentals. They're not looking at things, like they're not primarily technical. They're fundamental. They build these cases, right, for their clients and things like that. And the guy, he was just like, they asked him one day, they were talking about stocks, and they were just like, oh, on the currency front, like, if you had a play to make, what would you play? And he just shrugged his shoulders like, uh, the euro yen. That's what he said. He was like, I just
Yep.
played the euro yen. You remember that?
Hmm.
And he was 1,000% correct. Like he was 1,000%. He was 1,000% correct. It's just been moving long, right? So that's uh that's what I'll say to that, right? You can see, right, how that's just been moving to the upside, cross the board, just
And
been
so,
pushing.
like, I support your statement 100% on that, bro. Is like
Yeah.
fundamentally, that's what it is, right? It's all
Hmm.
super fundamental. So, like Benny said, if you're looking at the day-to-day movement, yeah, it can be back and forth. But if you step out, look at fundamentals, that whole drive up, they've been steadfast on not changing rates, right?
Haven't
Like,
budged.
um, and part of the reason that I'm looking at a move is because their tone has also started to shift.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right, it's not as firm as it was. We're getting closer, right? We're getting there. But like even back then, right? Because we were even looking at this back in 2020, 2021, when price was around like 114, right? And I remember a session looking strictly at the fib support and resistance. Price was at 114. Then he said we're going to get to, it was like 137, 140,
Hmm.
right? And price continued to rise, and it got there, right? So, but understanding the fundamentals is, yeah, all around issues, but especially with the yen and listening to the words that they say and how they understanding how they use the words to move the market up and down, right? It is really, really important. And I think that helps to all to Benny's point, right? To really understand the ebbs and flows of the Bank of Japan and the yen crosses.
Yep. Yep. And because they, like you said, they've used the rhetoric, right, to talk the market down to force the short-term corrections. In the past, it hasn't been a policy shift. Hey, we're watching the market closely. The same thing. They just kept saying the same stuff over and over again, and the market would react. Like, look at this. Look up here at 195, right? How that reacted back to the downside. That's when everything just broke loose. The bottom fell out of it, right? So yeah, it's definitely fascinating to watch it all play out. But the higher time frames. Oh, you're welcome. The higher time frames, you can see it, like Ryan said, when you zoom out. Um, the key is, and me and Ryan were having this conversation yesterday, is that when you're undercapitalized, you tend to see a lot of those strategies um on your lower time frames and things. I think a lot of the times that's where that's derived from, like people being undercapitalized, trying to figure out how to flip the money. But one of the things that we really want to press upon in this group is that the opportunities are abound. Like if you can get consistent, right? Well, you can get consistent. Like if you just focus on getting consistent with your trading, the capital is out there. So when you're trading like a real $100,000 account, you know, and you're looking at a 1/4% being $250, a 0.5% being $500, 1% being $1,000. You can sit in a long 4-hour swing, you know, and trade it with your stop being wide at $3.90, $4, and let that thing swing for 800, 1,000 pips, like you see on some of these pound moves. And you're like, man, I only risked a 1/4%, $250, and as a result, I made 800, 900 bucks. So sometimes I think we get super fascinated with those lower time frames because we're trying to make more transactions uh to flip to flip money faster so we can build our accounts. But the key is building the discipline to prepare yourself in the future to where you will have the capital. I think that's what's most important, you know, because when you do the math, when you have a real small account, when you do the math and you say, okay, even if I have $1,000 account, and if I can outpace the S&P and crush the S&P and make 40% on a year, how much is that on my $1,000? Right? Let's be honest and be realistic, right? But there are opportunities out there if you could become that pro and build a track record, which is what I want everybody to focus on. And me and Ryan have some things that we're working on, right, to help get people in that mind frame. The capital is there. People are always looking for folks to be able to that can grow money, right? That's why I like the 250K challenge. Right? Yeah. So the bigger you can with those prop firms, the larger challenge you can get into, so where you have a drawdown that's bigger, because that's what you're really trading is that maximum drawdown. The better off you'll be. Like the fivers, right? They go all the way up to like 4 million. So at 4 million, and I think the max drawdown is what, 6% maybe at 4 million. That's for the instant funding or whatever, or the hyper. What is it? What do they call it now, Ryan? Hyper growth, something like that. Um, so if you had a $4 million account and it might take 3 years, 4 years, right? But if you work your way to 4 million and the drawdown is, say, the max drawdown that they give you is 6%, that's $240,000. Because that's what you're trading, is that max drawdown, right? So that's like trading a $240,000 account. So let's just face it, right? If you hit the max drawdown, the account is gone, right? So that's how you have to think about, and then it makes it a worthwhile journey. Because when you get to that level, like my mentor used to say all the time, like, hey, once you get to trading the standards, you don't ever want to go backwards, right? And so what he was saying is give yourself 3 years, 5 years, you know, to build consistency, to build a track record, and the capital will be there, right? So everybody keep that in mind while you're trading. So your max drawdown is 7,500 with the 150K account, right? So you got $7,500 to play with, right? So I would be risking all that. I would be working out all of my risk off of that $7,500, right? Because if you blow that, I just watched a guy do that. Like you blow that, and you blow that max drawdown, like you kissed 150K goodbye, right? So why would an investor invest in you and you risking 10% per trade? No investor, no worthwhile investor is gonna do that with somebody that's cowboy trading and risking 10, 15% on a trade. It's crazy, right? It does take the pressure off, right? And so Donette, like I was looking at Donette's discuss when she posted it, like she lasted it, and she hit that target because her risk management was on point. She never was out the game. She never was out the game because she had excellent risk management. So I want to look at a couple more pairs. I know we had a good conversation today. We didn't get through too much, but um, taking a look at this Euro Aussie. Trade. So this one, right, we're getting that Aussie strength, but it moved it right into our zone. Okay, so this is another one of those ones, right? So we drew it up and we marked it and said, hey, we need that correction. So this is a prime example to where why I don't take trades off those levels and I wait for my sweet spot. See, now if you had like a lower time frame strategy, right, whatever to play that move, because that moved quite a bit, right? It's a Euro Aussie pair. So that moved up 140 pips, but then look at what it did. It corrected right to the downside. So it took off, right, out the gate, came out the gate fast off of that 236 bounce, then it turned over on you, right? So that's why we have rules. Okay, that's why we have rules, for the way we swing trade. So now we are moving into our buy zone. See, and this is the patience, right? To wait on your setups. So we're moving into our buy zone. So I want to continue to watch, and see what's going on with the rest of the week, how the market opens, New York opens, to see, the reaction with what's going on with China, what's going on with the yen. And this is in our buy zone, right? So we've seen a CAD yen now on the one that's in the buy zone. We've got this Euro Aussie now where that correction occurred. Good news out of China impacted the Aussie, right? And so, but we know we've got the ECB press conference coming up, the rate statement decision. We want to see what the forward guidance is. They're probably going to say we're cautious. We're not going to be too quick to cut rates. And so, do we buy? Do we buy this and take a shot on it? Right now, the reason why I love trading these zones is because whether I'm ultimately right or wrong, my risk to reward ratio is where I need it to be now, right? So I only need to be technically right now where this is, right? So if we measure this out here, right? And our extension is, call it 145, 419. Okay. So 145 and 419. That's almost a 3-to-1, like 2.8ish, something like that, right? So I know, right, with that pretty much being almost a 3-to-1, I only need to win 3 out of 10 trades, 3 out of 10 of these setups to actually make money, right? That's the beauty of this. So I can think about it, in regards to uh this being the right setup, but I don't have to think too long about it because I know at the end of the day, if I find enough of these setups that put me in the right risk to reward ratio, I don't have to win them all anyway. Everybody follow me in that. Drop me a one in the chat. That's very, very important. That can make your life a lot easier and a lot less stressful, right? And this is why, you know, when we talk about, I think I closed it out. Don't look back after your trades have commenced, right? Let it go, because you've been patiently waiting for that setup, right? And so when things are starting to line up for you, you won't be so hesitant to take that position, right? So we're coming down into some key support levels here from the daily. Our stochastic, right, is not, we're not overbought, we're not oversold either, right? So you can see here we're kind of double topping in the zone. So do we find the low and then we continue, right? So we'll continue to watch this one, but as far as your setup goes on your 1 hour, right, that's there. So if that's your chart, that's your setup. When you see it, evaluate it, grade your trade, and take your trade, right? That's gonna be your no worries. That's where the second guess starts with the looking back. Absolutely. Absolutely, it does, which is why I wanted to go over that and cover that. Okay. So last one I'm gonna go over, last two, is we're gonna take a look at this Euro CAD. Yeah, we'll take a look at the Euro CAD. And we can see here on this Euro CAD where, because I know we hadn't gotten back to this one really, but this one here, right, that 80-20 played out, right? Hit the 84 pips on the nose, and then we took off, and now it's just doing this thing bouncing around. So I'm not looking to buy this at all until we get a low price on it. So just wanted to review that. So you can see the previous one played out 115, right? And then this 382 got hit on the 80-20. That worked out, then it took off, but you can see how it's trying to U-turn and come back down. So that's one to keep an eye on for the future. And then this Euro Swissy. Where on the 4, right, we got that 267 to hit. See? All right, so for example, if you're sitting in this at you're trading right 100K account, okay? So you got 100,000 account, okay? And a quarter percent of that is 250. So if I take that 250, right, and I'm dividing that by the 87 pips, right? I'm trading at a $2.87, right? So you just made 766 bucks on that move, right? And that's what you got to keep focused on, is the big picture. That one day, that's where I'm going to be, whether it's my own money or I've got, I'm with a prop firm and get money allocated to me. That's where I'm going to be. So that just because you have skills and an education, right, and understanding how this works, and you build patience to hold positions, that move right there, right, and that's at a quarter percent on that 100K. That's at a quarter percent, not even a half, not even one. Think about that, right? So here we are, ran into that daily D extension. So we wait for price to see if we can get price to correct. Okay, so just wanted to go over that. That 4 hour got hit. The 1 hour low setup that we had, we didn't quite get the low price when we were trying to play that smaller wave, but the overall 4 hour hit ran into that daily D extension to the upside. And now we'll see if we can, if it wants to come back down in the zone. I don't know. We almost got a 50% retracement there. So we'll see. Last one, the dollar yen. setup that we've been watching, right? That was one for the yen correction, where we are almost off this 4 hour. Okay, manage your trade. Okay, that 80-20 to the downside, we are stalling right here at this 147.77. Okay, if we break that, we'll go to that TP1, right? But keep a close eye on it. We're definitely oversold on the 4. We may get a pullback, then a continuation down. So just continue to watch that one. But that's been a really good move out of the zone. All right. That's all I have for today, everybody. Great conversation, right? A lot of different perspectives. Really appreciate you all being here with us, being involved, being engaged. Ryan, anything before we close out, sir?
Bro, great session, man. Good people. Benny talked about it, and it's all about consistency, right? The consistency comes from developing discipline. Consistency comes from developing discipline. So as you're putting in the work, really focus on building the habits that are required to achieve the things that you desire to achieve. All right. And we're putting together some things that, like we talked about the other day, we're going there, right? And we're putting together some things that are going to help all of us move in that direction from all aspects. So really start to prepare your mind and your body for what the next level could feel like. Allow your imagination to run on what that next level feels like for you. Whatever that next level is, depending on where you are. What does that next level feel like for you? Because we're going, and we're going to set up the infrastructure, the tools, the relationships that are needed in order for all of us to go, if you desire to go there with us. So, great session, bro.
Thank you, sir. Very, very, very well said, right? Hang in there, everybody. We got this. Enjoy the rest of your day. Remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Take care, everybody.